I say again, no one regrets these measures more bitterly than I do, but we must take firm action now. And that's why we have to think very hard about schools, because today, of course, it remains the case that keeping children in education is a national priority, and it remains the case that schools are safe. But we must face the reality that the sheer pace of the spread of this new variant requires us now to take even tougher action in some areas, and that does affect schools, and let me set out for you what this means. In most of England, primary schools will still reassemble next week as planned for the new term. But in the areas we've just published today on gov.uk, I'm afraid the start of the new term will be delayed until at least January the 18th, when the latest data on those infection rates will be reviewed. And that is because the rate of transmission in these areas is so high, and there's just such pressure on the local NHS that extra action is required to control the spread of the virus. The children of key workers, or those who are considered to be vulnerable, will still go back to primary schools from next week, wherever they live in England, and they are not affected by today's announcement. In secondary schools, all vulnerable children and the children of critical workers will go back next week across England as originally planned. But we will ask exam year pupils in secondary schools to learn remotely during the first week of term and return to the classroom from 11th of January. The remaining secondary school pupils, i.e. non-exam groups, will go back a week later, that is from the 18th of January. But I want to stress that depending on the spread of the disease, it may be necessary to take further action in their cases as well, in, as I say, the worst affected areas. To minimise disruption in schools and to fight the disease, we're massively expanding our testing operation, ensuring that every secondary school pupil is tested as they return and regularly thereafter. I, again, want to thank teachers, pupils, parents who've worked so hard to keep schools safe and keep them open. We're also asking universities to reduce the number of students who return to campus in January, prioritising medical courses and others requiring face-to-face teaching. And in all cases, students should be offered 2 rapid tests when they return. All of these measures are in the end designed to save lives and to protect the NHS. And for that very reason, I must ask you to follow the rules where you live tomorrow night and see in the new year safely at home. That means not meeting up with friends or family indoors unless they're in the same household or support bubble, and avoiding large gatherings of any kind.